I know a lot of you out there might feel like there's not a job out there for you right now. And for those of you who are working, I'm glad you are. I came across a video on YouTube, and it's one of those videos that they talk about debt and people who are concerned about their house, losing their house, and what's going on in their household. And this particular segment was about a nurse, and she was explaining how she is overhead, meaning she's the breadwinner, the bread maker, and she's the only one working. You know what I mean? Don't mean forget me for laugh. That's nervous laughing. The breadwinner. I think she's over $700,000 in debt. It's not student loan. Student loan may be a part of it, but she didn't mention that. She was talking about how she went and did big, buy another house, sold her house, and bought a bigger house. And at the time when she bought the house, I felt like, well, based on what she was saying, it was like a rush, a quick decision, basically. But being the only breadwinner in the house, it can be stressful for her. I could see that. She was doing two jobs and trying to keep up with the mortgage, and I can't imagine that massive house. She has five kids, and how do we get there, nurses? How do we get in a position like that? And that was going through my mind because I am not far from there. And no, not in that extent. But I'm not saying I'm out of debt yet. I'm still there trying to crawl out. It's like knock off one and a bigger one came in the picture. Not as big, but it's there trying to pay it down. So I asked myself, how did we get there? Nurses. I remember, and I think I said this before, when I was a LPN, and sometimes it happened again when I'm an RN, as an RN now. And nurses used to tell me, oh, the houses and how much they living in Philly to talk about their houses, 500,000, and my house was just so small and everything. And it was a townhouse. If you know about Philly, it's a townhouse. You kind of clammed up to somebody else. 3 bedroom, but small. I feel good about it because it was something I had achieved. But in the back of my mind, if you're in that crowd and you want to be liked and you trying to keep up with the Jones, you do feel at some point, which I did, that why can't I be like that person? How come I can't afford that? And you see them just working, working, and they're angry, they have a lot of stress, but they have things. Things that at the time I thought if I had, I could be in that group. Fast forward, I work every weekend. That's it to finish RN school. And I got to Georgia and I became an RN, and I came to Georgia and I realized that it wasn't Philly. It's in a different setting. This setting is way something that I can't even imagine myself, because I remember one nurse say, if you don't have that Beamer, if you don't have that Lexus, if you don't have this and this, you can't be my circle. I'm happy. I'm comfortable within my skin. I can walk alone. I have very few friends. Why am I telling you this? Because sometimes we overextend ourselves to make people feel like make ourselves feel like we're in this, you know, we're in this bond together, traveling with a group of girls. They go into the most expensive store. You're not going to get something. Don't you want a pocketbook? I remember one incident, never forget my friend Kim. We both went. And you know how you click with somebody, she's on the same wavelengths like me. She think like me. And we went into this most expensive store, and these nurses was buying 6 expensive pocketbooks. That's their money. Nothing I could do about it. I didn't, but I know I couldn't afford it. I was looking at it, where am I going? Where am I going with that kind of pocketbook? Red bottom shoes. I don't even wear high heel. This not about me. What I'm trying to say is I get it. I get it. Cause I was once wanted to be in that in crowd. And we take, because I was talking to another nurse, credit card is cash. We use credit card as cash. And if you notice, if you look at something, Facebook show you that, oh, you like that lotion? Then you see Facebook coming showing it to you. YouTube telling you how to, if you want a window, YouTube telling you the same window that you've been just researching on. It end up on YouTube, you reading up on it. How did they know I wanted a window? Somebody's watching you. But it's not the topic. What I'm saying is, nurses, and I talk to new nurses, and I hear them, I sit back. I was with a group of nurses, they're going to be LPN, and they was talking, when I get this job, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to ditch this car, and I'm going to get me a Beamer. And now, houses, 50-year mortgage, it may seem like, oh, I don't have to pay that much. And I said to them, maybe you should, just hold back. You get the job now. You get the job. But save your money. Pay your student loan if you have to. The jobs are not out there as much. That's what I hear. I think the biggest thing I heard about the job and what I've seen when I'm looking, because I do look for jobs, believe it or not. I don't just stay home and do nothing. I would like to be a regular on YouTube, but I have to work. I have to work, yeah. Anyway, so a friend of mine, because I was telling her, because I had applied to an agency. I don't know, something about me keeping jobs in Georgia, or me going after a job in Georgia. I really do want to settle down because I have family issue I need to take care, and I don't want to go as far as California. Getting back into Georgia, it takes forever. So if something happened, I need to be a little closer. But it's harder this way. So I was telling a friend of mine who's also a nurse, older nurse, and I was telling her that the agency I applied for wanted me to go back and put 7 years more of my working experience. What I didn't do is when I updated, sometimes I keep the old one, but when I update, I kind of lost in my other computer the places I work. So she was telling me about, and I was telling her about my situation. And I called her because I had an assignment. Usually, when I get an assignment and it's paying reasonable, I call these friends. Do you want to come? Because I really like a buddy system because I've been in situation as a travel nurse. That's another story for another day. And you really need, when you go into certain places, you really need another nurse that you know, that you can trust to be there as your support. So I usually call everybody. So she said that she wasn't thinking about it, but by the time I get to her, it was too late. So she was telling me about the assignment that she was trying to get into. She's a med-surg tele step-down nurse. Anyway, so her conversation with the recruiter, it was intense. And she felt that if she had taken that assignment in Mississippi or someplace deep south, that the hospital, she would really feel miserable, and it would be not her best interest to deny this position. And she was talking to the recruiter, but the recruiter couldn't understand. And like I said, they don't get it. The only thing they get is the dollar sign. Either take it, I don't care about you. I don't care what problems you have. I don't care if that position doesn't fit you. Just go do it. If not, I'm going to block you. It still hurts. It hurts the nurse because I've been in a situation like when they want to send me someplace in Philadelphia. Not in Philadelphia. I live in Philadelphia, but they want to send me someplace way out where it's predominantly Caucasian. And I walk in the facility. This is like a nursing home because I'm an LPN at the time. I walk in the facility. Hi, my name is Patrice Foster. I'm the LPN from the agency. They didn't even give me a chance to say that. The lady looked up and looking for me. Are you the CNA? Just go sit over there in the corner where the other CNAs are. I went and I usually I would correct them, but this is one time I see it's going to be a problem for me. And so I just went in the corner and sit down. The same lady came out. The receptionist said, I haven't seen the nurse yet. She didn't come in. I'm sitting there, I hear her. The nurse was here. And so I walked out, called the agency and said, please, do not send me to these places anymore, please, because I don't like to be the only black nurse. And that's a fact. But I would take the position if I felt like the way they were treating me. They didn't even ask me. They assumed that I was in CNA and put me in the corner so they could show me what she was showing me, the supplies, and what I'm gonna do, and the closet and everything. And this is where you kept the towel. And Mrs. Jones need to bathe at 9 o'clock. And I asked, who's gonna do the meds? She said, well, that nurse didn't know, no call, no show. She never showed up. And so I just politely walk away. I walked out, called the agency. I'm leaving because they still looking for the nurse. So you tell them the nurse was in the building and decide to leave. And I left. The agency didn't do anything to me because they know I'm there to work. Some may do that, but you can't do it. I don't do those things no more. But I don't take positions by myself. I usually have a buddy system. So she decided not to take it, and she told the agency she won't work with them anymore because the way they were acting. She needed the money. We all need it, but sometime on principle, you're gonna have to walk away. That's the difference from the New Yorkers, the Philadelphians, than the people from the South, if they're not awoke. Not anything, because I know somebody gonna come on here and say, oh, the South. They're opening up their eyes now, I feel. Anyway, so, the positions are limited. They find ways. I wouldn't say they. Let me backtrack. The competition is so intense now for positions. So if you find a contract that is paying reasonable, when I say reasonable, good pay, the competition is so high. And who gets the first pick? It ain't going to be you anymore. It's not. Unless it was something that they like for you to go in first and clean it up, and then they move you out and bring them in. I couldn't sugarcoat it anymore. So they were asking her, the reason why she came to this conclusion was, I know her personally, and I know that she was stuck. I said she was stuck, but she stayed in California for 7 years with this one agency, and she kept going to different hospitals for the agency. So this assignment that she was going to go to in this deep South, they were asking for a W-2 to prove that she was in working for this agency in California. And I thought that made her angry because usually a job don't ask me for my W-2 unless this is something new in 2025 or this is something new that's going on now, because they flip the switch all the time based on the economy or whoever running the country. They agency, the nurses get hurt in the process. So she had to prove that she worked 7 years in California by showing, copy, and send it to the agency, her W-2. I've never heard that in my 33, 34 years of nursing, that an agency asked me for that. Even a facility asked me for that. So this is something new to weed out the nurses, I feel, to give us less, the experienced nurses giving you less because they're not giving you the same, the new nurses. But the thing about, I shouldn't say, the thing of difference I find in Georgia is that who you might be getting more salary, more pay than me. That's how I feel. Because I seen it happen before, and talk about it with some other nurses, and it's true. So I wanted to come out here and say that the nurse that was in debt, um, she was in over her head, and there was no room because of that debt. I would her living conditions. The only person working. There was no room for mental health. And we need to take time for ourselves, nurses. Pull back. I was a workaholic till I came to Georgia. So I can go out and work, but I can't do it anymore. I don't feel that my skills, I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel like I should go and out there and do the things that I've been doing for so long. When I went to Oregon recently, and I'm doing they gave me an assignment, and I'm doing the best I can, which is doing my job. And there were nurses that weren't doing one thing. Didn't do nothing the whole day. But these are nurses that progress, get the next assignment. So at this point, I feel like as nurses, we need to just follow our heart, follow our gut. If you take the assignment, complete it the best you can, because it's rough. It's out there, it's rough. It's not for you, it's for the employer. They're thinking about their bottom line. They're not thinking about your bottom line. They're not thinking about how your legs hurt. They're not thinking about you can't get up this morning because you feel so exhausted, so tired. Your head hurt, your legs hurt, everything hurt. But you need to get in the job and do it. They're not thinking about you. Nobody's thinking about you. So you got to be 100% on board with yourself. Think of yourself. And if you didn't get anything out of this today, I want you, because Thanksgiving is coming up. And every Thanksgiving, I'm away for my family. Never see my family till after. Never get to be in the turkey. Never get to sit at the dining table. I'm away. Every Christmas, I'm away. Is it by choice? It was, I would say, at some time, desperation at choice, because that's when I don't feel like this is my personal feeling. Every close to Thanksgiving, and I speak about it all the time because that's close to my birthday, and it's like a day that I want to be by myself. I want to be not in a crowd on an assignment, because I'm not going to get a day off for my birthday. And so this year, I'm really thinking about it, that I need to stay home and go see my family in Philadelphia. Because every year, because I think my kids say, you're going to go away again on your birthday. And it hit me hard that every year in nursing, I'm working on the holidays. And they always have these great assignments to reel you in with more money on the holidays. And not even thinking that you have a family. But then again, whose fault is it? It was my fault. I chose to go. I could have said no. Even on the job, I took an assignment, and it was before I even walk in the door in the interview, I told them, I had somewhere to go. I had tickets and everything to go away for my birthday. When it was time for my birthday, I couldn't even go because I didn't get the time. It was denied. So this year, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, so like I said to my friend, you really have to look out for yourself. You really have to be a voice for yourself. And in order to do that, pick your battles. Because she told me, oh, I argue with them. I said, why did you argue with them? Don't argue with them. Don't stress yourself out, honey. Don't do all that. And, I felt for the nurse on the YouTube that she was in over her head. And we all get in over our head, and getting out is hard because there's a lot of people who doesn't even have a house right now, don't even know they live in their car. There's some nurses that live in their car. Believe it or not, a lot of people say, oh, nurses make a lot of money and this and that. No, we're at the same level as you. We're living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm honestly telling you the truth. I'm not coming here and telling you that I made 200, 350,000 every year. And that's why I can't get nothing, no tax relief. The stimulus check they said they giving, they won't give it to the nurse because they think the nurse have money. And I would say this in defense. Yes, there is potential for us to make money, make a living, to feed our families. And in order to do that, we got to live below our means, not above. We not buy that truck. Don't laugh at the one. Oh, you got that 2015? Huh. You still have that flip phone? Huh. Just gossiping about cheap. My food costs $150, but you're not eating it. It's right there. So if you can just block them out and do what you have to do, save your money. That's what I would tell my old self. Save your money, Patrice. But I think do the best I can. And I know I'll get a job. It might not come right away, but it will come. So I wanted to come out here and talk about nothing, not a specific topic, but pressing topic, because we keep hearing that there's a shortage. And in every state I go, there's a shortage. The nurses that are on the picket line, is a shortage. But they don't want to hire nobody. As a matter of fact, what I've seen in Georgia, they putting the LPN up front. So there's a market for LPNs now because the RN's going to cost them money. So be kind to yourself. Spend some time with yourself. Hope you're going to stay. You get the holiday. Have a wonderful day or night in your state or your country. Thank you.